taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
Yeah. What's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this afternoon, Pat Scorpio, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm letting him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do, man? It's Shuttleworth, the undisputed god of GOAT artistry and ringgangradio.com is tree and all this other fly shit we about to get into, man. You know what it is, man. The undisputed realest fucking podcast in the game for boxing, man. GOAT artist shit. Let's go, nigga. Ring gang.
Yes, sir. Ring gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, yo, what's good? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxer in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day, you know what I'm saying? This is the real bodega. We don't do no email bodegas over here, you know what I'm saying? Real bodega.
And keep it, we keep it old school over there. That's what it's all about, the bodega, man. That's what it is, man. And last, but certainly not least, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's fly? It's Conscious Pod, aka the West Coast Avenger, undisputed, no email, IBF, WBA, WBC, all the belts. We here, baby. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. That's what it is. Conscious Pilot, he's right now, no turbulence, man, but he stays elevated above the clouds. You dig?
Always, yes, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, man, we definitely have some things to talk about, particularly, particular two cards, but especially one particular card in which one Devin Haney finally overcame a whole bunch of bullshit, to knock off George Kambosos and finally become undisputed lightweight champion of the world. But before we go into that, I'm gonna let my pilot, let my man Pilot do his thing, say what he has to say about the whole, for the fight and the whole card and what basically, what disgusted him and what pleased him and all that good stuff. So
Nigga said, let my pilot, like, y'all flying right now. Like,
hey,
what the fuck we and King P doing?
Everybody can fly. Everybody can fly. Shit. Was that even a card? I mean, it was like mostly just a bunch of talking and trailers of some bullshit.
It's a telethon, nigga. It was a telethon. Like did you make a donation?
There were so many knockouts like that. You see reports on Twitter that you couldn't watch. It was like, come on, man. And the Junior Foss shit was crazy. I think everybody picked that method looking dude to lose, but
yeah,
give him the Equilibrium shot. I was like, what the fuck? And that dude was, and that was over.
Yo, don't lie, he looked like one of those damn, like, hillbilly, the hills have eyes type of niggas in one of those movies, like in some backwoods forest or some shit.
Like one of those guys in the Fallout game. You gotta kill one of those big ass.
Oh, shout out to Miss 702. We see you. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Listening and learning. That's what's up, man. Because obviously you learn some stuff, and then of course, we crack some jokes too as well, and we got some jokes to crack.
salute Miss 702. What it do? Man. Jay had it live last night with Henny God Slick channel, so shout out to him and 702 and everybody that showed up.
Yeah, that was a dope show.
Yep, and then Lukey joined us, man. Salute Lukey, man. We see you.
West Side.
For real. Oh man, but yeah, like that card, ESPN, it was ESPN is a disgrace. And for a channel that's supposed to be all about sports network, it seems like they're fucking up coverage, not just for boxing, but for a lot of different shit, with everything except college football. College football gets, it gets like all the top notch, commentary, the video quality, the angles, all types of shit.
College football is a high value sport, though. I mean,
yeah,
boxing is like low value niche sport. That's
the money. The money and the eyes aren't there as it should be.
Nah, the money is there. You see how much these niggas getting paid, bro?
They got paid. You're right.
Did Kambosos make like 10 mil? Like,
yeah, I think 10, and Haney got like 2 to 3 or something.
Yeah, something like that. But it just seems like it's just everything about it. It seems they skipped on everything. Like the promotion felt like low budget. Like the video quality, I mean, should have been like, damn near 4K, but it looked like it was just recorded on one of my camcorders and shit. I think my camcorder
I could take 720 HD But give me some fights. Don't give me all this damn telethon shit that they was doing, man. Like, what did y'all sign up for last night?
Yeah, like first of two, there's supposed to be 3 undercard fights, but at the last minute they cut out one undercard fight because of some bullshit, where it's like, we didn't pay for this fight for the air or some bullshit. But it's like you had more talking than actual fights. Like the Junior Fa, the Junior Fa and the Lucas Brown fight was like top of the hour. It was started at time, and then of course everyone expected a knockout. Of course, no one expected Junior Fa to be walloped into the bushes.
I thought it was gonna be a co-main. I thought that was gonna be a co-main. I'm shocked it opened.
Yeah, first of all, I was shocked it was even on the card because Lucas Brown, is basically he's jobber. He's basically jobber status right now. He's been jobber status for a while. And Junior Fa is supposed to be like the next Samoan, even though he did lose to Parker in a horrid fight. But you would
that fight was horrible. My goodness, what is it with them? Australia be having like the worst produced cards. What is up with this shit? Like, koalas are cute, kangaroos are dope, but what the fuck y'all be doing with y'all boxing cards?
What the fuck we be doing with these boxers? And the fun thing is too, it's like, Brown for a minute, Brown, he came to prominence when he actually knocked out Ruslan Chagayev, a former WBA heavyweight champion, to win one of the regular versions, which was
probably on drugs when he did that too. So.
Yeah, and he got stripped of it because
exactly.
Yeah. And it's not the first time he did it either. He's popped dirty, and then after that, he's pretty much known for Dillian White knocking him completely the fuck out.
I think he got knocked out recently by like a rugby or club fight, some low level.
Yeah,
he did. Damn, Pilot, you remember that shit?
Yeah, God. That was one.
He knocked him out in one. So that's pretty much just like, and that was last year. And Lucas Brown's on here. So Junior Fa is supposed to knock him out. Instead, Junior Fa, of course, he came to the ring playing Bill Withers' Lovely Day. That song, I love that song, but it's not a walkout song that boxers should be coming into the ring to. And this dude was smiling and shit. Like, what is you doing?
Yeah, dude looked like he was on that Pilot pack. Like, he floated to the ring on some other shit.
Yeah, because his mind wasn't on business, and then he let himself get hit with a roundhouse right behind the ear. People say it was behind the head or behind the ear, but that dude fell in such a way. You felt he got you thought he got like a seizure.
It looked like the side of the head. Like, honestly, he caught more side and face than Boots knockout the other day.
His equilibrium definitely got rocked. Like
yeah, and Luke, he said turned into a pack. He definitely got turned into a pack. And honestly, the referee was criminal. The referee actually let him continue, knowing damn well he was shaky as shit. I don't
know why the referee let him continue.
Yeah, and then
he tried to make that shit go longer than 2 rounds. Like, come on. he already knew. He's like, man, you got about like 40,000 people here. And if this fight don't go longer, there's going to be like 30 minutes worth of talking until the next fight.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys could go 2 rounds.
Like an hour worth of talking and shit.
It was like an hour.
Yeah, and then Brown promptly put him back down and then waved that shit off. And of course, that now was a big fucking upset too, because Lucas Brown was a plus 1,400 underdog. So yeah. So if you did bet,
I should have bet on that shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's now one of the biggest upsets of this year because of that.
Now let's see if he passes the post fight drug test.
Now, of course, I'll fight Chris Paul if he pops.
Hold on, what are the odds on that?
That should be an odds.
Yeah, that should be an odds.
Yeah, Junior Fa, though, I'm sorry, bro. You're gonna have to go all the way back to the drawing board. In fact, I don't even want to see you on TV, and no, I don't want to see you on the Zone or Top Rank. None of that. You gotta rebuild. If you're getting
we smoking Junior 5-packs tonight, man.
You're gonna have to open on Pro Box TV, brother.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see him on Bounce TV. The fuck out of here. If you show up on Sunshine Network in Florida, I'm gonna be pissed. Dude, that's it. No more.
Honestly, it's unacceptable that he lost to Lucas Brown, so he's gonna need to rematch that man. I'm sorry, he needs to do it. Like just the way getting caught with a wild roundhouse right, like nah, bro. Like you gotta run that shit back with him and not.
I mean, when
you're supposed to.
When you throw your jab, like you aiming to hit a mosquito and you don't snap it back, and bring it back to your face, shit happens.
Yeah, and Brown is a shit fighter, but he can punch. He punches incredibly hard, and it might be it might be because he takes a lot of drugs. Certain drugs.
He's a big dude, man. Jeez,
he's a big fucking dude. And I think also too. I think he's also a racist in some way.
He is. He was calling people monkeys. Fuck him.
Yeah. So Junior 5 not bodying him was a disappointment to every person of color. So yeah.
The way he said that shit.
He let down everybody.
You let everybody down. Like
had a nerve to be shaky and shit. Like, nah, bro, you're Samoan. Like what the hell? Samoans are supposed to have some chins. Like, geez.
Yeah, I'm sure Brown called him a monkey when he knocked him down too. Fuck.
Sure.
Nah, he thought about it on some damn. What's that Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report?
Man.
yeah, sit your big ass down, boy. Like,
yeah, but
like, dude, he put a fucking like Junior 5 gonna have to just come back and just do something, because like that loss should not like sit well with him, because it damn sure don't sit well with me just seeing that.
Nah, he I saw it too. I'm thinking to myself, like, nah, like, like that man is a Samoan. All Samoans that I've known in real life and they have, well, Jimmy Thunder was a little different, I think, but he No,
Jimmy Thunder had a chin. Fuck that. Chris Berg gets credit for them knocking him out. We're not gonna make it seem like his chin was like powder puff. Nah, nope, we're not doing that.
Well, he did get hit a lot.
I mean, shit, half these motherfuckers get hit a lot. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. But yeah.
He let Nas down. Oh my God, Haiti guy, y'all some clowns, man.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I know. Lukey with his pack comments. Henny guy going in. Yeah. Like Junior 5 is a disgrace. Like, that was his showcase fight. Topper would probably, put him on some more cards had he won. But now he has to run it back with a 42-year-old drug addict. Racist drug addict. In order to prove that he's right. Like nah.
Okay, man. Like, look, I'm sorry to even come off like this, but like, we giving them too much attention for a 1-round fight.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an upset though. But you're right though. It's an upset. Like it was disgusting. Like, I mean, hell, remember our comments in our chat, like, good, big for nothing, nigga. Like, you don't do shit, nigga. Like, like, what did you do? How are you that big and not being able to see a punch like that coming? Like,
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, seeing somebody that big and just like carefree, sorry looking, and the blunt definitely went out before that fight.
We're gonna go on Calvin Henderson a little later.
That's a heavy bag pack. That's that stay against the ropes pack. Right.
No offense pack.
Y'all don't even want to get into no damn Maloney and none of that shit, man. Like,
Maloney did what he had to do, and I'm not gonna shit on him for what he did what he had to do with what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna, but fucking Kambosos, ESPN got it. Five got Kambosos now needs to get it. Now Kambosos, like I said,
I'm gonna just mute now. I'm gonna enjoy this. Talk your shit, bro.
Shit. Like we all put respect on Kambosos' win over Teofimo Lopez because we all thought he legitimately won. P was in the house for their salute. We all thought he won the fight. I was impressed that we got no, Lukey, we're not, because Maloney did what he had to do, and it was a fight that wasn't that bad. It was just an underwhelming fight for the magnitude of the event. So, Aston, he tried. I mean, he did hurt Maloney before he got knocked out. I mean, that's real. But I'm not gonna shit on that fight because Maloney did what he had to do. Now, if Maloney got knocked out, then we would have to talk about why he got knocked out. If he had any personal failings in his camp.
Or if he had one of those Nonito Donaire, Cesar Juarez type fights. Yeah. We were like, God damn, like, that was a good life and death struggle. Let's talk about it.
That was but no, I mean, he handled it the way he needed to. He put him away. So there's no pack for him. Like, he did what he had to do. But Kambosos, this motherfucker, like, he wins the belt. in a fight of the year, knocks off a pound for pound. Dude is probably borderline top 10 or top 15, you know, and then he goes on. And like I said, I mean, my one and only time of actually being around him, because he was at the Haney Jojo Diaz fight, because Lou DiBella was bringing him all around. Like, dude, at first he was like kind of humble, you know, shaking hands with everyone. But you could tell as he got used to being champion, Lou DiBella was in his ears like, wait a minute, you don't need to face no damn Devin Haney. Like,
that's just one belt. Remember, you have the precious. You have the 3 belts.
Yeah, and then Kambosos switched up. He went from like, well, I need to be undisputed. I need to fight Devin Haney too. Well, I got this WBC franchise belt, so yeah, I am the undisputed champion. And then putting all these fucking Instagrams like welcome to the jungle, I am the lion type of shit, like, and posting all types of wild.
The Emperor.
Yeah, the Emperor.
Like, no. Only Lennox Lewis gets to use the Emperor damn nickname.
Yeah, like
you gotta knock motherfuckers out to be called the Emperor.
Right, and it was just a whole bunch of double talking. And DiBella, P obviously was, as we mentioned before, P was like, DiBella was like, well, why do we have to face Haney? We don't need to do this. Being annoyed that God forbid you want your champion to fight another champion so you can try to strengthen your hold in the division. Tried
to get that Lomachenko fight, but
they were trying to cash him out. He wanted to sell Kambosos like a whore to the highest bidder.
Yeah,
let's keep it real.
Yeah, and DiBella and truthfully, and maybe Styles might be a fight where Kambosos would have been able to get off more with Lomachenko than Haney.
But got his ass whooped more, like,
yeah,
dude. But like, honestly, like, I don't see how he would have did anything to Lomachenko either. Like, Lomachenko would have probably just threw more combinations. Like, he would have probably beat up Kambosos more, but Kambosos already looked bad against Haney. Like, you saw his face.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, Kambosos, and the funny thing is, Kambosos was talking. Yeah, I'm gonna be ready. It's like, using boy. I mean, it's funny how a lot of foreign, like, Australians especially, don't know how racist certain shit is.
No. They fucking know. They know. But dude, look, if you want to, if somebody's young, you might say kid. Mm-hmm. People get away with kid, but boy, no. I don't care what culture you're in. Calling a grown-ass man boy is some disrespectful shit. And if it's a black person you're doing that with, then there's racial connotations behind it. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Like, and he knew what he was doing because he kept fucking saying that shit so much.
Between that and talking about like he hasn't earned anything, and then making up all these wild stories, like I had to stay in America for 5 years, and I had to dig through this garbage to go find these food and shit like that.
Oh my god! Shut the fuck up! Like,
he was just so much into this bullshit. Fucking what's that? He's a thug. He's a rat. He's a snitch. Dude,
yeah, that shit came out.
Devin Haney was telling him regular shit that you could have found out on boxing Twitter, any YouTube account, any boxing media, old, new, whatever. Everybody knew about the shit Teofimo Lopez was going through. It wasn't no damn. You didn't tell this nigga the keys of life. You didn't give away no fucking. He likes pink Gatorade on Saturdays when he trained type shit. Like, no, like, you didn't give him no breathtaking shit. You act like you gave him a fucking the Mortal Kombat blood code or some shit. Like, motherfucker, you ain't give away nothing new. And you, dude, that just tells me like he was on some racist shit because all he was trying to use was fucking racist buzzwords. Yeah, thug, exactly. Rat, like, well, I know you colored folk don't like snitches in your community, so. Yeah, I'm gonna call him a rat.
It's like where would that even come into play? Like, snitching on what? Like, what? Like, they're not in this. They're all not in the same fucking camps. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's just
tell us you don't know shit about our culture. Like, that's all he was doing. Like, it was just.
Right.
That's why I laughed. That's why I laughed when I shook my head when, I don't know if y'all remember. Remember the whole thing when Haney and Teofimo face to face, and like they was talking shit, And this is before Teofimo fought Kambosos, and like, you know, Teofimo used the N word because he called Haney a nigger, and like all of a sudden, I never forget this. Fucking, it was on Twitter, and then George Kambosos chimed in saying, "Say no to racism." I'm like, motherfucker, you're from Australia. You're not even from America. What the fuck you know about this? Like, sit the fuck down. Like, little did I know that was the beginning of all this shit.
You know what? I can't say nigga. I'm gonna call him boy 1,000 times.
Right.
You just say,
like
yo, a boy. Dude, I can play games. Like, where I'm from, you call a motherfucking 17-year-old boy, he might beat your ass. Like, the fuck out of here. Like,
right. And the fuckery continued all the way to the weigh-in, you know, and the weigh-in comes in, and, you know, Devin surprisingly makes the weight looking like fucking thinner and shit, like, you know, and then Kambosos looks dried out like fucking, you know, Slim Jim beef jerky and shit. And, you know, and he actually...
he was looking like thinner part 2. See, y'all didn't see that.
You know what I'm saying? And he's 0.36 over. I mean, first of all, that's a weird number to be over. Like, usually it's like half, a quarter, 3/4, you know, a pound. So it's like, they must do something different in Australia, because for 0.36 was a weird number. When I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is a 0.36 being over? What is that shit? You know? And then this nigga still had the nerve to get off the scale and start jawing in Haney's face about the shit, like he didn't have to go and take a shit or something or chew gum to try to make weight. It was like, you know, and then of course he does that. He comes back, he makes it, and he's talking about, oh, it's deception, art of war. You know, I just took, you know, what was it? He said he took a shit and he drank coffee or some bullshit. You know, it was like,
art of war, but tell everyone you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a secret, but you're telling everybody you're doing it, so it's not a fucking secret.
Yeah, Kambosos, I don't think he had enough book learning as a kid. Like, you know,
he does it there, honestly. Like, he comes across, like, he talks the way you would like. He talks the way Lucas Brown looks. But the difference is, like Lucas Brown, he knows what he is. He knows who he is. He's a big guy who can punch. That's it. Kambosos tries to come off like he's some fucking sophisticated boxer, puncher, philosopher, expert. Like, dude, man, you had a fight of the year with a mentally challenged or fucked up Teofimo who was sick, dying, whatever the fuck, because we seen the medical reports after that.
Like, I mean, Teofimo could have literally died in that ring, you know, if, you know...
You couldn't even beat a nigga who was half dead to death, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so, yeah, and then even before that, I mean, obviously, like, me and P were there for part of the his fight when he fought Bay, and then the Selby fight, like, I mean, these were slick, you know, slick fighters, and they still gave him a little trouble. You know, so
hold on, he had good practice for Devin Haney. Matter of fact,
did.
He had more practice for Haney than Haney had for him.
Right. And
damn sure didn't look that way though.
Yeah, and so now we get to this fight, and you know, and obviously with Devin Haney, I mean, we like before we go into Kambosos, we all know Devin Haney's story. Like, Devin originally came into this thing when he was Lomachenko's mentor, where Lomachenko had three of the lightweight belts. And then his WBC Mando came up. So instead of actually fighting Haney or trying to do something, he decided to go the Canelo route and like, hey, I want to be franchise champion, which is the whole reason why this bullshit came into effect with lightweight. So Lomachenko
he ducked him. Let's be honest. It was a duck.
Yeah, it was a duck, and it was worse. I mean, I'm one of the biggest critics of Lomachenko I've been since he turned pro. And I thought
we know.
Yeah, and lightweight was probably, lightweight was his Hall of Fame type of run. Like, dude, like, for being undersized, like, dude was doing it, like, at lightweight. And the fact that I was starting to give him, like, begrudging respect. And then he threw that shit all the way. And then he had the nerve to not take, you know, and then he loses his belts to Teofimo Lopez, and there's no rematch clause. And then fight things too. And Teofimo was talking that shit before. Yeah, I'm not undisputed until I fight Devin Haney. And then once he changed, you know, Teofimo was like, oh, no, I'm undisputed. And then all his personal problems came up. Lots of personal problems in the COVID and the ducking.
He made a whole company go bankrupt damn near.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, in that, and of course, and then Top Rank, he was a pain in the ass. So Top Rank was like, you're not satisfied with here. Let's go fucking purse bid. So Triller won it. Triller, couldn't get their shit together. So so they went. It was defunct, and then it went to Matchroom, who was the second best bid, and then Matchroom aired it, and he got paid, but he lost his belts in a bloody fight. And Kambosos was like, yeah, I'll face him next, and then the bell got into his head, and we got all this bullshit. So yeah, Devin was put through a lot of bullshit, and of course he had the shoulder surgery, and then people getting on him about Linares, and I got on him about Linares a little bit because I had to, because Linares is not. I mean, Linares either beats you or you knock him out, one or the other.
You don't decision Linares. We keeping it real. Like, see, a lot of people, they don't want to keep it real. It's on some groupie shit with all these boxers, and it's like, Ring Gang, nah, we don't do that. Like, right? Like, we give you props for fucking up. I mean, when we give you props for you do it right, but we gotta get on you when you fucking up. Kambosos.
Right, yeah, and then that Linares fight was Devin's fuck up, but at least instead of after taking a soft touch, he went to Jojo Diaz, who's a tough night out for any fighter, and I was there for that one, and that was a hard fight, like hard, and Haney got the decision, and it was funny too because
that was closer to 116-112 than the fucking Kambosos Haney fight.
It was like you could probably give it a 115-113. Like, I mean, it was like Jojo really gave him a hard time out, like. Jojo matched him like scale to scale. It's just, Jojo just wasn't as fast as Haney. That's pretty much the biggest difference.
And then just Haney just is just better. Like,
yeah, and they both.
But now it's like people put respect on Jojo's effort because we seen the non-effort with Kambosos. Like, he literally just had the world at his feet, and he just quietly just gave up his shit. Like, he had the silent Teddy Atlas agreement.
Yeah, and Lukey just put, Kambosos has trouble when fighters don't come to him. Yeah, that's true. Because he's not creative enough. He's not creative enough to create his own offense, which I thought he didn't throw no jab out. Like, you would think that someone that has will at least have a jab, to make Devin think, but nah. Devin's
he's world class at this point. You got 3 belts. Mm-hmm. It's like, look, if you're in boxing and you can only fight a certain way, that's your fault. And your fault only.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not giving nobody excuses when fucking Chris Bird was horrible coming forward, but goddamn it, at least he tried.
Right.
Like Kambosos couldn't even do that. Like, god dog.
Or if he did, he threw because he tried to catch him with that same shit he called Teofimo, like that one overhand right. But Devin would either step back or step to the left or step to the right, and this motherfucker would throw his whole shoulder out and hit the ropes and shit like that, looking so amateur. And if it wasn't that, it was the jabs, like, and the fun things too is Devin didn't really have to switch up all that much. 3 jabs, boom, 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 and then Kambosos, woof, gorilla swing, misses, and then Devin, boom, 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 and then he'll throw a left hook in or some shit like that. It was like, and
he landed a damn good uppercut one of those rounds.
Yeah, he did. And
I think I put the picture in the chat or something.
Yeah, you did.
My bad.
Yeah, I used that as the live screenshot. And it was like wash, rinse, repeat. Like, and fun things too is Kambosos, like, and fun things too is like he still got busted up over you can tell he got trademarked over his eyes and everything like that. And he couldn't make
like he ate Golovkin jabs.
Yeah. And Devin has one of the best jabs in the sport today, and he just could not find a way. He couldn't solve a jab. And in fact, he couldn't even get his own jab going because he was like, because I mean, I think probably the magnitude of the crowd got to him, and the crowd was dead silent, except for the rare occasions where he did connect, and you hear him like, yeah, they're going crazy.
This the same crowd that he talked about was going to intimidate Haney?
Yeah. And the funny thing too, that crowd was pissing me off. Like, I seen all them damn Greek Aussies, they're over there chanting away, holding. I have nothing against Greek people. Like, I mean, some of the closest people in my life are Greeks, but like just the whole atmosphere was starting to piss me off a little bit. I was like, what is like, it's like,
dude, you can't be mad. They getting a big time sporting event of like nothing they can compare it to for the first time ever. Like they're gonna be happy, but it just we know they was backing the wrong guy, but they were just glad he's there. So I guess that's why it's kind of annoying, because y'all cheering for a fucking loser.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Bless their hearts. I mean, y'all didn't choose, Kambosos to represent y'all. Y'all just glad he made it. I mean, everybody can't be Katsuzu.
Right, and like I said, Kambosos definitely had a grind, and his grind definitely paid. Like I said, because Teofimo took him too lightly too, and that's what happened. And Kambosos took Haney too lightly. It's just like, Lomachenko took Lopez lightly, Lopez took Kambosos lightly. It seems like it's a pattern, but I think I don't think Haney's gonna take anyone lightly. But it's just like, the arrogance gets too much, and bam, like we get this bullshit. But yeah, Kambosos, for someone who was like probably who you could probably rank in the like lower half of the top 10 or even the top 15, he's gone from that list. Like basically, I mean, he lost his belts off basic boxing. He looked basic off basic boxing. Like in young fighters, like that's why you practice your fundamentals. Like power is good, but if you can take away your opponent's strength just by a jab and footwork, which is the foundation for every boxer.
Minimum footwork. It's not like Haney was even circling the ring that big.
Yeah, not like old Rigo footwork where Rigo's just circling because he doesn't like to engage. Like dude stood in the pocket, left, right, backwards. Like
we told y'all, it's the 3-foot rule. All you gotta do is stay within 3 feet of the opponent. You could counter and be there and land effortlessly. Just do your basic boxing. You don't need to be goddamn 17 feet away from a motherfucker to outbox him.
Right. And that was perfect. And frankly, that's all he did in the corner. Like, there's like, keep doing what you're doing, Devin. Like, I mean, even Devin himself was like, I realized he was horse shit. So let me just do what I got to do. I didn't need to get out of first gear. And
it barely looked like he broke a sweat. Like
I know. I mean, most people. I mean, granted, were like, it could have been a more exciting fight, but you gotta have. But basically, it's just sometimes you gotta play to your strengths. I
wasn't bored. Like Haney put enough punches together to where I was like, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't no bullshit. Like, I mean, because we've gone in on people like the sweet sciencing stuff, which we've talked about before. There are some fighters that are really super guilty of that. Haney was not guilty of that. Like because he marked.
I don't think Haney is ever really guilty of. Like honestly, this might be Haney's most boring performance. Because I know people who like, so my sister says Haney's boring. I'm like,
hell no, Haney ain't fucking boring. Stop that.
Dude, people say it, nigga. People say it. Like you don't, nigga. You on the same boxing Twitter I am.
No, I mean, like I hear that more for Shakur, and I don't agree with that. But like Haney is not boring at all. So
I don't think Haney's boring, but I'm just saying like that was probably his most boring performance, and I still wouldn't call it boring. Like I said, people say I've had people say he's boring. Now, Shakur Stevenson to me is a little more like, I think he's had more type of play keep away boring performances.
Yeah, and
he's been on a better run lately.
Yeah, and we definitely had. I mean, the Nakatia fight, Shakur definitely got the criticism because you can't be overly defensive like that and not really try to hurt your opponent. Yeah, he got criticism for that, and that's why
criticism so bad. Motherfuckers already knew what I was gonna say before I even said it. Like,
yeah, I mean that's
the chat.
Yeah, and that's the only fight that Shakur ever was apologizing for, because people got on him for whatever. No other fight he's had before or since that he ever apologized for his performance. So
imagine apologize for winning.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was an honest criticism of that particular fight, and then since then, dude's been putting foot to ass. So yeah, he it was good. He learned from it. So, but yeah, Kambosos, like I said, dude probably won no more than 2 rounds. So the 2 116 112 scores. They were generous scores. Like they were generous.
Yeah.
You know, there was no 160-112 in my book. It was 118-110. Or
Haney won fucking. Kambosos won fucking 2 rounds at most. Like, stop.
That's at most. A lot of people had that nigga
shut out. Yeah. Exactly.
So Kambosos, and of course now we all know the deal, the fucked up deal with Devin Haney. In order to get this title shot, he had to sign the top rank. He had to 3 fights, you know, and then should he win, he had to go fight Kambosos again in Australia, which is horseshit. Which is absolute horseshit. Like, I mean, who signs a fucking deal like that? I mean,
I feel like Top Rank is gonna try. I don't know. Maybe Top Rank will try to get their way out. I feel like they're gonna try to make it hard to make Kambosos not want to take the rematch. Because like that's good. Like I don't think they're gonna be able to sell a rematch with how dominant, how one-sided the first one was. Like the money won't be in the second fight like it was in the first fight.
Yeah,
but
it was a slave deal to begin with.
Yeah, ESPN is definitely not going to put no money. Like they're not. I mean, unless it's a big ratings bonanza, which I don't see.
Nah, the whole production. Look, I'm sorry, man. We just got because look. We've been going on Kambosos, but we got to speak on this damn ESPN's horrible ass production values. Like,
yes, sir.
I'm like, just don't want to see them do another big fight ever if that's how they're going to keep doing shit.
Yeah. It's disgraceful because it's not like ESPN has not been. ESPN has had boxing on the network since 1980. They have a library, like and. You know, we grew up watching fucking Friday night fights where the quality of those episodes were a lot better than fucking last night's production. Like, they must have been amateur hour or something. Like,
it's too much. They overproduce it. There's too many chefs in the fucking kitchen. Like I don't need to hear everybody's opinion on this goddamn fight over and over again. I don't need these bullshit think pieces from fucking Kriegel.
Yeah, Kriegel. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know,
like we don't care about his fucking opinion. Like, oh my god, it's like the boxing has shit so fucking wrong. Like, look, if y'all want to start having all these, if y'all want to start putting talking pieces together, y'all got to start trying out new different personalities or something. These same motherfuckers y'all try to throw at us is not working anymore. And then people show up to watch boxing. Like, we cool with a little interview here and there, but like, you can't have a whole hour. You can't have 30 minutes go by and there's no fight.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. And like, I mean, unless it's an emergency or some shit like that. That's only supposed to be a once in a while type thing. Like, that's not supposed to.
They do the production like they literally do the production like they're trying to throw their own fight party, but not take it serious. Like, they'll have a bullshit fight, and everybody comes into the house and they get their little beer, you know, whatever, and they're like, okay. First round knockout, all right. Everybody gets up, starts mingling, might have some music play. Somebody gets on the grill, there's nachos, he talking to chicks, whatever. Then it's like, that time is only supposed to happen for like maybe 15 minutes and then the next fight. These niggas literally have like a whole hour go by. So a motherfucker, now it's like, all right, y'all said y'all out of Coronas, y'all out of what bags? What beer y'all drink? All right, let me go to the store. Motherfucker had enough time to order a pizza and pick it up and hit up the fucking grocery store and get beer.
Right, and the fun thing is too is like they had swing bouts. Like the if you were there live, you saw the swing bouts. The ESPN would not air the swing bouts for whatever reason. It's like, why? Like, so we had to sit through a whole bunch of talking head shit, which I'm starting to absolutely despise.
And the matchup was good, but this is not the type of fight that people want to talk about for hours on end. Like, you do that shit when people have history. Like, you could do that shit for a Wilder and Fury. You could have some talking. There's history. It's a lot of shit. You could do that for Canelo and Golovkin. You could do that with certain fighters. So you can even do that with Castaño Mel. Like, but you can't do that for every single fucking fight. There's certain stories that it's just, you know, Little Red Riding Hood went to the forest, met the wolf, went home. That's it. Like, stop trying to add multiverse layers to this shit. Stop trying to make it seem like Lil Red Riding Hood ran into goddamn Fantastic Four, fought Miss Marvel, then ran into Batman. Saw the like y'all adding too much shit. Like,
right?
So, like, I don't like. What other big fight fucking ESPN has next? Like,
I mean, better Beaven Smith, and then that's the next fight in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, and they got NOA Daenerys. Ah, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Well, after them two, I'm kind of good on these dudes. Like, I'm like, they gotta reevaluate this, like, something, because that format is not working. Like, if you invited people over to your house to watch that fight, you would feel like everybody should leave after 20 minutes.
Yeah, because I mean, that fight had buzz, because I had some of my more casual homies hit me up on the phone, actually call me, which is like a cardinal sin in my world if you know me. Unless if you're not established as like an actual boxer fan. I know it sounds silly, but damn all that. Yeah, and then calling me up about this damn fight, and then ESPN is just dragging it out 30 minutes in between there and shit like that. And they had a nerve to have it interfere with Fulton Roman, which we'll get into in a little bit. But
that was done purposely, because on some like, well, look, this is the real fight of the night. What are you doing watching that other shit?
Right.
But so, man, I'm just
do
better boxing.
ESPN failed. Junior Fa failed. Kambosos failed. And his corner failed. And like I said, it was great. Like I said, it was just vindication. It was just great seeing vindication as Devin being undisputed champion. Like after going through all the bullshit that he had to go through, people calling him an email champ. His champs avoiding him, his Mando,
his father being allowed at the 11th hour to finally go to Australia. Like that was pre-planned. They knew what was up with that shit. Like, I'm gonna just be real. That was some little, background racism shit, man.
Right, and then,
fuck it.
Yeah, and then Ryan Garcia, being on this fuck nigga shit, like, talking, boring this, boring that. But that was supposed to be his ass should have been in the ring with him, getting his actual title shot instead of avoiding it. Saying
shit, Ryan Garcia last fight was boring. The fuck
it was. It was horrible. Shit, I barely remember that shit. Except for the knockdown.
That's the thing. Haney fought a guy who was scared to come forward. Ryan Garcia fought a guy who was scared to come forward and punch. Hold on. Matter of fact, they both fought the same guy, actually.
Yeah,
two motherfuckers who came to lose. It's just one person knew he was the B-side. He was gonna lose. The other person, he had to play it up in his head that he had won already when the fight got signed, because they convinced a black kid to take this horrible ass deal. And remember when Haney first took it, there was talks about Kambosos didn't even sign it yet.
Right. Yeah.
That lets you know how bad the deal was. That deal was awesome. Like, man, he'll never accept this.
Yeah. But Devin, and that's what I said, Devin did something that most of these young fighters don't do, and gamble. Like, he gambled with a shot and it paid off in dividends. So he gets major props for being the first undisputed lightweight champion since the great Sweepy Pernell Whitaker. Devin definitely at some point, obviously when we do our pound for pound list, don't be surprised to see him, see his name on most of our list, if not all of our list.
Don't be surprised to see a blacker list.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry that one guy who left that comment talking about, you already have two black people in the top 5 pound for pound. There's nothing racist.
Oh no, yeah, we're gonna make the pound for pound list is gonna become the black for black list. Oh no, the horror.
Oh,
fuck out of here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't even remember your fucking name, you bum. But yeah.
Oh yeah, and then just another minor thing. And then the cat that was arguing on the Twitter with me about fucking Teofimo, because I mentioned I put in the RG on Twitter that Teofimo was not undisputed champion because ESPN shoehorned his name in there with the other legit 4-belt undisputed champions.
They won't notice.
Yeah, and I mentioned that shit, and then one Teofimo Super Stan, got all his feelings and started replying back, and I had to ignore him because clearly he just started watching boxing during the pandemic, and either or he thought TFM was attractive. I don't know. Either way, it was beneath me. The conversation was beneath me. He was beneath me, so I had to let him think what he had thought.
A lot of people have been getting in their feelings with these losses, these high profile losses in boxing recently.
Yeah, and it happens because they're feeling so there's it's so confident like they're the best, and these fighters not only losing, they're getting humbled when they're losing, like bad.
Yeah, makes me let me just bring up the poll topic real quick. We touch on that.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue, bro.
We dropped the poll topic last night. I'm sure King P has the particulars.
I'm getting it. Loading. Still like Kambosos, loading up.
That shit never loaded.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to be like Kambosos. Speaking of Kambosos, what I'm saying, we had to ask, and go vote. You can still vote. So, who caught the bigger boxing lesson, Canelo or Kambosos? Damn, 85 votes so far. 53% said Kambosos, 47% said Canelo. So it's a tight race.
Damn, a battle of losers. Wow. And big losers. Damn.
And truth, and yeah, because if you compare both of them, Kambosos basically dropped his belt without a whimper. Canelo at least exerted himself to the point where he was tired.
Where he made the 2 rounds that he did win look competitive.
Right.
Because both these niggas both those dudes won about 2 rounds apiece. Like, it's crazy the scorecards they got, because you add up the rounds they won together and they barely get 5 rounds.
Yo, that's facts.
That sounds bad. And I voted for fucking Canelo because he was fucking a 4-1, 5-1 favorite.
Right, whereas Kambosos was a slight favorite. I think it was excuse me. He wasn't the favorite. He was the underdog.
Nah, Haney had to be the favorite.
Haney was the favorite. Yeah, because Kambosos was plus 160. But Bull was actually odds that were kind of insulting for him.
Yeah, so that's why I say Canelo caught the bigger boxing lessons. He tried a little more than Kambosos. Yeah, I'll give him that. But you try a little harder than Kambosos. Are you really trying?
Right.
Like, somebody's like, oh man, like, just think about it. You a kid and you boxed and you came home and you was like, yeah, I did real good. He was like, how'd you do, son? He was like, I look like Canelo against Bivol. Like, what? You gotta take your ass back to the gym with that shit.
Yeah,
I need a different storyline.
Yeah. Canelo was. Also to the impact. Canelo losing shifted a whole. It's the reason why these pound for pound lists, the conversation has been dominating like boxing social media for like the last couple of weeks.
And the reason why people not taking the pound for pound list serious, because it was the exclusion of too many names, and it was just the whole. People were just capping and caping to just trying to find ways to keep people on there because they don't want to fucking add different names. You had motherfuckers bringing up a goddamn Gary Russell Jr. win from 7 years ago for Lomachenko, and then motherfuckers is refuting it, saying, look, y'all trying to make a big deal about that win to justify Loma being pound for pound now, but back then y'all didn't even rate Gary Russell top 10.
Right. And I'm a Gary Russell. Yeah, and I'm a big Gary Russell fan, and that's facts.
Yeah, like, people was pulling up receipts, so now, pound for pound list gonna look real colorful, and then this is before Juneteenth, so yeah. Get mad, nigga, get mad. And one more motherfucking thing. PSA, look. Women's boxing is amazing. It's been amazing for a while. If you just woke up this year and found it amazing, then that's your bad.
Right.
With that said, anytime there's an undisputed champion, by all means, please mention Clarissa Shields as a 2-time undisputed champion. Because if not, he's gonna insert her way into the conversation and make it about her, even though no one gives a fuck because it's Devin Haney's moment to shine. But God forbid if you don't mention her, like, you know, in a night full of men's boxing, you know, we got to make it about her. Like, so I'm just, I'm just saying, you know, go ahead, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, no other, like, I mean, the only other person who tried to bring some shit up is Teofimo, who was not undisputed, but niggas say, you know, he was the first who started the whole shit. And it was like, whatever, nigga, like, you know, but Clarissa, like, you know, I mean, you haven't even beaten, I mean, you're undisputed, but do you see Jessica McCaskill saying some shit about it, or Katie Taylor? You know,
like, why do you care so fucking much?
I mean, or even the other ones, like, you know, Jamel Charles. Jamel Charles is still in the basking in the glow of that shit. You didn't see one word from him about, you know, about that.
Because honestly, she knows, and this is why it hurts. She knows it's a hollow undisputed win. Because no one gives a damn about who she won and unified with. No, the names are just forgettable. Like,
they are.
We remember the people she's beaten, which is some good names, but the whole undisputed shit is just a certain extra accolade that she wants us to care about, and we just won't. And I'm sorry, we just don't give a fuck. Have you beaten some great names? Yes. Christina Hammer, Gabrielle Douglas, Franchon Cruz Dessert. You raw ma, you beating some good names. But at the end of the day, those names weren't a part of the unification. So it's whatever. We don't give a fuck.
Right. And
you can't force us to give a fuck. Like, this whole sexism in boxing, if it's so much sexism in boxing, just leave, do something else. Like, goddamn, like men don't want to hear this shit. Men don't want to hear you complain about men in a male-dominated thing where you're getting a come up. Right. Like, just shut the fuck up with it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no, I'm not sorry. Like, I'm just tired of hearing that shit.
Right.
God, yeah, I gotta scroll. Like, it's like I wanted to draw some more artwork, but now I'm just like, my hands started aching because it's like I gotta scroll faster to get past this bullshit. God damn, like, motherfuckers be having the world and they still got something fucking complain about. Like, like,
I'm saying
that's just so fucking annoying. Like,
yeah,
God
like,
damn, night of boxing ain't about you, nigga. Like,
right, exactly. And like I said, and she, like I said, she more than anyone knows what Devin went through. Like, Devin had to fight champions, Mandos, sanctioning bodies. That, you know, there was a lot of people that were trying to make sure that he would never become undisputed champion. Like,
just be happy for someone. Like, oh my god, and you know these niggas. Like me personally, like, I don't know if I could be cool with someone every time I had a good moment in life or something big, and then a motherfucker gotta come in and be like, well, you know, yeah, you beat the game on this on normal, but I beat it on hard the other day, my nigga. So I mean, what you happy about? Like,
right.
If motherfuckers is, and if you get tired of someone doing that on just regular everyday shit, imagine how you feel when someone does that over life-changing shit like winning undisputed and shit. Like, come on, man. Like, give it a rest. Like, the world ain't out to get you. Just focus on fucking Savannah Marshall.
Right, exactly. But yeah, one more thing about the whole Devin Kambosos thing, Devin Haney, George Kambosos thing. I wonder how many people got furious when, you know, Devin started talking, you know, Allahu Akbar and Alhamdulillah and Inshallah, you know, all that other stuff. You know, because I was like, you know, because I mean, obviously the climate, it's still different because before, we all know, like, before 9/11, you know, when Muslim boxers said it, like Hamed said it.
Yeah, they were looking at Hamed crazy.
Yeah, you know, and low key, like, it's not really said. That's part of the reason why Hamed kind of retired, among other things, but it's not really said all that much. Yeah, so, but I wonder. I mean, but ever since then, like, people was doing that in the ring. It's been kind of, you always get the smart comments. But yeah, I'm sure that Devin probably pissed off people saying all that stuff because, you know, he was really going in like a lot of this, a lot of that, you know.
Let that man praise God. Let that man be happy. Like, god damn, like, fucking black person can't just express anything in life. Like, you be too happy, it's like, nah, nigga, they just gonna pull you down, man. You gotta be humble. You be too humble, it's like, nah, nigga, you gotta go for yours. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
You give people a good fight. Oh man, you got hit too much. You jab somebody to death. Damn, man. I mean, that sweet science and shit is cool, man. But niggas ain't trying to see that for 12 rounds. Like, you can't make nobody happy in this lifetime. So you just fight and win.
Yeah. So I'm happy for Devin. Like I said, you know, from doing what he was doing on Showbox, you know, to signing the deal with Eddie, you know, to giving those fights, you know, it's actually being in the, you know, being at his fights, actually, you know, actually experiencing all that stuff, and to see how he's actually growing. He's only 23, you know, and so yeah, like, you know, I'm incredibly happy for him, because like I said, you know, I was a fan, you know, and I was like, you know, this kid has it, you know, and it's good, and it's great to see that, you know, he's definitely living up to potential, like, you know, and like I said, being undisputed at that young age, like, he clearly has, he'll have more to offer, you know, but I think, I mean, the question is though, how long does he keep these belts? Because I mean, clearly we all know, you know, as a lightweight, I mean, he struggles to make lightweight. I mean, he does. So it's like, we don't know how long he is before he actually goes to 140.
Oh no, that's more art of deception.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh shit, yo, but it's definitely, this is definitely Haney's day, you know, Devin Haney's day, like, you know, like, all the respect to him and Bill Haney, you know, and whoever at Top Rank that actually, you know, they try to, you know, quote unquote get his visa checked, and, you know, and all that other stuff, man. Yeah, Devin, man, you know, I mean, I would have loved to see a knockout, but the fact that Kambosos got embarrassed because he thought so highly of his own skills and he couldn't get away from a jab, you know, and some footwork, yeah.
He couldn't even try. It's like, it's not the whole not figuring out a jab. It's the part where he just gives up. Like, look, if you, I don't care. You can get hit. You don't have to figure out the jab to beat somebody.
Right.
Like, it's honest. Like, Lee Wood couldn't figure out a straight left.
Yeah.
And he was getting dinged with that shit the whole fucking night. But that did not discourage him one bit. Because you know why? He's a fucking G, and he knew what he was capable of. Just like Devin signing that fucking slave deal, he knew what the fuck he was capable of, and he fucking executed. When you know what you're capable of, shit like a fucking jab ain't gonna stop you. But if you don't know what you're capable of, and if you read your own press clippings and your IG stories and shit, you all on that shit, then yeah, a fucking jab might stop you.
Yes, sir.
But a jab ain't gonna stop nobody who really trying to beat your ass. Like, if somebody really wants to fuck you up, I'm telling you, all my life, a jab will not be the thing that stops them.
Right.
So yeah, you know, I'm just being honest. All these people you see get beat up with jabs, because that was them.
Yeah.
They weren't trying hard enough. Like, you mean to tell me Lemieux could have just said, you know what, fuck this goddamn Golovkin jab. Let me tackle this nigga and throw punches and swarm him like I'm Sam Soliman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think David Tua couldn't just say, you know what, fuck it, let me clinch Lennox Lewis and let me try something. Like,
right.
Like, nah, the jab was enough for these dudes, and they just said, that's it. End of story. Ain't no fucking, like, jab shouldn't supposed to keep you from fucking doing what you supposed to do. It ain't stopped JoJo Diaz from putting some punches together on Haney.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, dude, that puts into perspective JoJo's performance. Like, JoJo has his own issues, discipline issues, but when dude is ready to fight, he's ready to fight. God
damn it, he fights.
Yeah.
You ain't never seen no one fucking 12 zip fucking JoJo Diaz.
Hell no. Like, I mean, if he comes close to lose, if he loses, he does. Gary Russell's the one that's actually beat him probably wider than Devin.
The most decisive, and even then, JoJo won 3 to 4 rounds. Like, he at least rocked Gary Russell. Like, he let Gary Russell know he was in a fight. But Devin Haney was like crystal clean. Like, that nigga was like Mr. Clean Head. Like,
yeah,
like he didn't get touched at all. Meanwhile, Kambosos was in the fucking trunk of the Spence car. Like, dude, like, fuck out of here, man. So glad this motherfucker got his ass whooped and lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Diva piece of shit, man. Racist motherfucker. I couldn't stand this nigga. I'm so glad he lost. Him and Canelo. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that whoever, that if this rematch does come to pass, I'm just hoping that someone else airs it. Like, I mean, honestly, like ESPN, yeah. I mean, if it's DAZN, I mean DAZN. I mean, I'd rather hear Chris Mannix, at least talk over some fights rather than rather see like a 30-minute interlude.
Did y'all hear this, man? You know how bad it is when someone says they rather hear Chris Mannix speak over some fights than to see ESPN broadcast another big fight?
Yeah.
If that doesn't convince you to do better, then I don't know what will. Like, that's it. Like, I don't think you can follow that up with anything else. That's like, the man said he'd rather have Chris Mannix speak.
Yeah, and I'm not no cap either. Absolutely no cap.
And you know what? I agree.
Yeah.
Nigga, you could throw Chris Mannix. Who else is annoying? I can't stand.
Grisham
and Kriegel all in a room and had them commentate on a World Star video, and I'd rather see that than the shit ESPN had between fights.
Yeah, unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Like, unacceptable. Like, to the left.
But yeah, I think we gave this card and the fights enough praise and enough bars, and there was another card too on Showtime. It was a two fight. It